Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. The game that I played in my 68th Binghamton Open here at my chess center in Binghamton, New York. It's in upstate New York. Round 2. I'm white. My opponent is black, Weatherley. Well, I was just thinking, my 68th tournament I've had here. Wow. I had to jump up a section being the tournament director. I didn't want only to be 3 people in the open section, which is above 1700, so I volunteered to come up even though I'm a low rated player. I'm rated above 1430. My opponent's rated 2096. That's over a 650 point difference. So let's see how it goes. I'm white, Daryl is black. Daryl could be the best player in the county. If not, it's darn close. It's going to be a Gucko piano. And let's go through the opening here a little bit. Castles, D6. Now I went a little bit out of move order, I guess. And I went H3. I didn't want that bishop coming there. He went knight F6. I went D3. And he decided to go after my light squared bishop right away, which was fine. He went queen E7. I went knight C3. He took pawn takes. And he went A6. Stops my knight from coming in there. Now I'm in pretty good shape. Computer off screen shows a minute advantage for white. I usually get the first move. So to be on move 9 and not be busted yet from a guy that's over 600 points rated than me is pretty good. A bishop G5. And he went H6, and that's what I missed. I moved the bishop back to E3. What I should have done was move my knight to D5, as you can see. The queen has to go back to D8. And then play bishop takes knight. He can't take with the queen because the pawn takes, and the knight takes the pawn on C7, so he has to take with the G pawn, screwing up his kingside pawns. I missed that. Castles, knight E2. I decided I wanted to bring the knight over there to G3, maybe get some pieces around my king, and if I'm lucky enough to get an attack going, do that. He took, I took. Now what's going to happen now is this pawn here is going to be a giant pain in my butt. Once he goes D5, I play pawn takes. Well, excuse me. Pawn takes, knight takes. I probably should have played queen to D2. I played queen to D1 instead. And he went E4, of course. Now he's going to isolate my pawn. I have to take. Queen takes. I have to play king F2. It's kind of ugly. But, you know, it is what it is. My king's got the 2 knights and a couple of pawns surrounding him, so he really should be okay. He goes bishop F5. Now he's going after my C2 pawn. Now, computer likes rook A4 or rook A5, C3. I thought long and hard about going rook F4. I'm not really sure if he can take that pawn. In other words, if I go rook A4, queen takes, bishop takes. If I go rook here, maybe I can get something going. I'm not really sure. It's a mess. So I decided to go knight F to D4 to protect my pawn and hit his bishop to give me a tempo. He moved the bishop back. I went knight G3, hitting his queen. He went back to E5, and then I went back knight F3. Now, according to the computer, I'm over a pawn down in score. Eventually, I'm going to lose that E pawn. Just a matter of when. So he goes back, queen E7. I guard the E pawn again. Figured I'll hang on as long as I can. He went knight B4. Now he's hitting my C2 pawn with his bishop and his knight. So I've got to do something here. E4 is the computer's choice, but I went rook e2. Now, I'm 2 pawns down according to the score. I thought I was doing okay, but obviously not. He brings the other rook. I get the king out of the action. Now he gets the other rook. And I decided to do a really, really obscure move. It's not even listed in the top 3 choices in the computer. And that is knight f1. I'll figure out guard the pawn again. This time with a knight. Now he's got to attack it with a minor piece in order to win that pawn. Or so I'm thinking. Rook d6. So I'm thinking to myself, e4 should have been done long before this, and it wasn't. I move the other knight. Because what I want to do is, I want to kick this knight out of here. Force him back. Here, here. Then maybe go knight back here once I got the knight gone. So he goes rook e6. I go c3 hitting the knight. He just goes back. He goes to d3. I exchange. Rook e1. Bishop takes. Now I'm going to lose the pawn. I know he knew I would. So we have a massive exchange here. And I go king f2. And I thought to myself, I'm really okay. I might be able to draw this, but Daryl is a top player. Almost rated 2100. He might as well be 2100. He's 2096. I thought I could hold on. He moved rook. I moved rook to d1, figuring an open file. I can get my rook on d7. But as you can see as I go through the moves here, slowly over time, he just outplays me. He wants to trade, of course. I can't. Check him again. King goes back. Rook. And he decides not to bring his king out. I just go through the final moves here. Try to get my king into play, but it's just not going to happen because my pawns aren't up there. And we'll go through the last few moves here. Rook c2. But now I'm already doomed already. He checks. My king goes back. King e5. There comes his king. I fool around with this, that threat. It didn't make any difference. I still went there anyway. He played b takes, pawn takes. His king comes over. I check. And that's the end. And I thought to myself, okay, you hung in there a decent player. I made that one bad bishop b3 move, which started this whole fiasco to begin with, if you recall. Instead of playing knight to d5, instead of having a decent position, that one simple bishop to e3 caused the exchange of bishops when I took with the f-pawn. Then it became the new e-pawn, and all my troubles started. So sometimes the trouble you get later in the game is at the beginning of the game. And I play Gunko piano quite often. I'm trying to learn it a lot better. And I'll never make that mistake again. So anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you learned something. And as I always say, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.